So one more shock for India from US government, and this time it is H-1B visa, you can say. Recently it was 50% tariff.
A visa war is unfolding. Trump's latest salvo on H-1B visas.
We need workers, we need great workers, and this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year.
So this H-1B visa policy government has reviewed, and now it will impose $1 lakh one-time fees on those who are seeking that, and that is being equal to over 88 lakh in Indian rupee. So it is very huge. You can consider that 1 lakh suddenly increasing it, and you know that India has biggest share in H-1B category. That 70% over 70% visa holders are from India in H-1B category. And also you should know that IT companies are reliant on that. They send their workers to get skill in foreign companies in US, and that also, let's say, in a way called skill transfer, skill sharing, or let's say that acquiring more and more, let's say, high-end skills. So this review and this policy has again, let's say, once more added, you can say, a challenge for the Indian government. It has been just trying to tackle the challenge posed due to tariff imposition by the US government. Then the question is that why US government has come up with this policy. So you should know that any country, especially all Western countries, are trying to protect their domestic workers. Most of the countries are facing unemployment, and they have domestic pressures. You can say that they should get job first, means they should get preference first in job, not foreigners. And therefore those pressures, you can say, from domestic aspect forcing the government to review their policies.
Every statistics, Government of India statistics and private statistics tell us that the unemployment is at its worst ever recorded, ever since we started recording unemployment data. The number of people who have lost their jobs in the last 2 years is greater than those who lost their job during the Great Depression of America.
And that is how it has been done. The US government is trying to protect its own workers and, let's say, promote employment for its own people. Therefore, if $1 lakh is imposed, it is very high, and then only highly skilled people, they say very skilled people should apply for job in US in H-1B category. Not that those people, what Elon Musk says, that those who data administration, data maintenance type of people should not come and work in US. Rather, that job should go to US people. Therefore, be it in STEM category, science, in research, in other categories, they want that highly skilled people should come to US, which they want to regulate. That can be considered from their perspective, let's say, protecting their national interest, and that is called, you know, that foreign policy rule. In foreign policy, the only ethics we say, the only, let's say, moral aspect we say is that protecting national interest. That is how Kautilya will talk, Machiavelli will talk. Now let's say, coming to our own interest, how our interest is getting suffered in globalized world. You know that when you have greater interdependence, you also suffer its consequences. Since India has 70% share in H-1B category, it means it's very huge, you can say, and when one-time fees is increased to $1 lakh, the hiring practices of Indian IT companies, especially Infosys, TCS, Wipro, they will review their hiring practices. Even they may reduce sending their workers to US on H-1B category, and that will also affect, in a way, employment in our country. And therefore it means it is not going to have only impact on, let's say, IT companies, but also on the aspirations of the youth class who want to work in US and one day they want to get green card in US. So that is going to affect. At the same time, already we are facing a employment challenge in the IT sector because of artificial intelligence. At the same time, what Ministry of External Affairs has responded, so it can have humanitarian consequences. Why? Because suddenly let's say that it disrupts your life. Suddenly it changes your stability in life. Many people who are settled working in US for let's say that 3 years and for let's say next extendable years as it is issued first for 3 years. So they may be let's say having a bit of stability, they may have invited their family members, they may be in the process to go there, then many people would be in pipeline, they may have got that H-1B category and they may be planning to go to US. Suddenly it stops, and that way it let's say that affects also our let's say social life, that is called humanitarian consequences, and we can see at the airports how there are panicness. Therefore, let's say that these things are going to be part and parcel of a globalized world, especially in recent times of globalization, where there is also being said that countries are trying to protect their domestic interest. Even you can say Canada, UK, New Zealand, they have also been tightening their visa policies, and that way also it is reducing the intake of number of immigrants in their countries. Hence, for such kind of challenges, we can say that let's say what government should try to focus. Government should try to focus on its domestic market. It should try to focus in those areas where we can generate jobs, especially manufacturing sector. We can encourage our startup, which government has already done a lot in that number of startups, let's say increased, we can say, and that is how we can create conducive environment. We can focus in our human resource development, higher research and learning, you can say, there also government can invest. So in long run, we need to let's say reduce our dependence on US H-1B category, because 70% is very huge, which can be also diversified, and we can focus in long run in generating employment opportunity for higher learning skills in our own country, as India has huge potential to grow. Meanwhile, let's say Ministry of External Affairs is in talk with US government, as dialogue is also an option to mitigate any challenge. So let's hope that Government of India tries to let's have dialogue with US government and that mitigates the challenge.